Hey everyone, I'm Joe Zealand, and today I'm going to show you how to play the acoustic guitar on Coldplay's All My Love as it is played in the studio version. If you've been following my channel, you might know that on the release day of Coldplay's Moon Music, I put out my own cover/tribute to Coldplay's All My Love, which means that I thought of my own personal way how to play a potential acoustic guitar on that song. It was really just me rearranging the piano that Chris plays live for acoustic guitar, and for that purpose I had thought of a potential cool tuning. And the main thing I did was tune the B string down to A. Since the song is in the key of A major, you can have those two notes, A and E, constantly ringing open. Now fast forward to the studio version, which I was not familiar with, obviously pre-release. It does have an acoustic guitar that comes in right after the first chorus, basically in the first half of the second verse, which is instrumental though, but harmony-wise it is still the verse. And it's a super complex tuning. Let me show you what's happening here. Just kidding, it's literally just standard tuning. There's no trick to it this time, standard tuning, no capo either. So you can just bust out your acoustic guitar, nothing else needed than tuning your guitar in standard tuning, E, A, D, G, B, and E, no capo needed, and you can just go. If you play this guitar part as it is played in the studio version by itself, it will sometimes sound a little off compared to what the piano does. While I walk you through these parts, I'll always try to show you two options wherever I feel like the chords, as you hear them in the studio version, branch off a little too much from the piano chords. So without any further ado, let's jump into this. Alright, I'll walk you through the parts as the guitar plays them, which means we don't start at the beginning of the song, but we start right in the middle of the song. After the first chorus, the guitar comes in on the first instrumental part, which however is simply the verse. The first half of the second verse simply doesn't have any lyrics. Alright, so we're starting out on what kind of looks like a B minor bar chord. However, it's not a bar chord since we don't use our index finger to cover all 5 strings, but only 2nd fret on the A string, followed by E major. Now into C sharp minor, which you want to play just like that B minor looking chord. So it kind of looks like a bar chord, but again, it isn't. Just put your index finger on the 4th fret of the A string, and then 6 D string, 6 G string, 5 B string, open E string. So we have 2 strings playing an E note. Now into this F sharp minor looking chord, starting with your thumb on the 2nd fret of the E string, then 4 on the A string, 4 on the D string, index finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, open B and E. You can also put your middle finger, which is still available, on the 2nd fret of the B string, which makes for a clean F sharp minor 7 chord. Now second round of this verse part, again this B minor looking chord, E major. And now here's the first part where I play something else than what I've seen Will play live. This F sharp minor looking chord again, and then moves to E major over G sharp, ring finger on the 4th fret of the low E string. Now mute the A string with the same finger, index finger on the 2nd fret of the D string, and pinky finger on the 4th fret of the G string, and then open B and E. Into A major. Now this is kind of where I drew the line, and I said I want to play chords, well still in standard tuning, but chords that look a little more than the chords of the piano part. So I play these 2 chords like this: D sus2 over F sharp, thumb on the 2nd fret of the low E string. Now mute the A string with the thumb, open D, 2nd fret on the G string, 3rd fret on the B string, open E. And then you kind of keep that same chord shape on the G and B string, so still 2 on the G string, 3rd fret of the B string. Now you want to have your ring finger on the 4th fret of the low E string, and again mute the A string, open D. Which by itself sounds kind of weird, but again, it's much closer than just this clean E over G sharp. This comes much closer to what's happening on the piano. All right, now we have this quick ascension from A over B flat to B into C, which Will doesn't play at all. The guitar just drops out there. But again, I want to show you a way how you can still play this in standard tuning. It's really, really hard though. This is really a part that is made for piano because these chord changes happen so quickly. So I kind of did a compromise. We want to start out on this A. I'm just going to play this super, super slowly now. So on the 2nd and 3rd chord, we're reducing this to a bass melody, and then into this chord, A minor over C, ring finger on the 3rd fret of the A string, mute the D string with the same finger, middle finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, index finger on the 1st fret of the B string, open E. Then we just repeat the same chords for the 2nd half of the 2nd verse. However, now instead of moving to this B minor looking chord, you want to move to G6, played like this. Thumb on the 3rd fret of the low E string, ring finger on the 5th fret of the A string, pinky finger on the 5th fret of the D string, middle finger on the 4th fret of the G string, open B, E. Will then moves on to this F sharp minor looking chord. But if you just play the song by yourself on acoustic guitar in standard tuning, I think there is a chord that does a little more justice to the main piano part. It's almost the same, but not quite the same. The essential difference being you want to lift your pinky finger to play an open D string here. Now after that, to transition into the chorus, Will, I think, plays again this E major over G sharp chord. Once again, I think it's nicer to play a variant of that chord, which looks like this. So we have this really dramatic F sharp minor chord. And now you just want to move your ring finger up to the 4th fret of the low E string, mute the A string, and everything else stays the same. Open D, index on the 2nd fret of the G string, open B, E. And then comes the chorus, which opens on this really nice, clean A major chord. No objections this time on my end. However, that's about it. The chorus in standard tuning, I once again play a little differently than Will does. I'll show you what Will does, and then I'll show you what I play. A major, our B minor chord, our C sharp minor chord, and then D major played as a bar chord. So index finger as a bar on the entire 5th fret, or if you want to make it a little easier, starting on the A string, and then 7, 7, 7 on the D, G, and B string. And for this quick little chord transition, just lift your pinky finger, only to put it back down on the B string. Alright, two things. Bar chords are really uncomfortable to play if you're familiar with them, especially if you play a full bar chord like this. In my opinion, they also don't sound as nice as open chords, since there's simply less sustain on the strings, because it takes so much effort to put your finger down compared to having an open string, right? In my opinion, it just makes for a richer sound. Also, as for chord 2 and chord 3, once again, not exactly what's happening on the piano. So here's how I play that part. Only similarity, the first chord, A major, but then I move to this B minor 7 chord, second fret on the A string, open D, second fret on the G string, third fret on the B string, and I also play that open E, which means that it's not a clean B minor 7 chord anymore, but whatever. Now, I really don't want to play this C sharp minor chord here, because that's absolutely not what the piano does. Based on what the piano does, the harmony here moves to an A major over C sharp, which in standard tuning without a capo, you can play like this. Once again, a really awkward bar chord, 2-2-2 bar on the D, G, and B string, and then either your pinky finger or your ring finger on the 4th fret of the A string. But yeah, kind of awkward to play as well. So I play a whole nother chord, which is also not easy to play, but in my opinion, it's still more comfortable to play than the bar chord. And I played like this, which is still an A major over C sharp. You want to put your ring finger on the 4th fret of the A string, then mute the D string, then index finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, and pinky finger on the 5th fret of the B string. Again, double E notes here. Sounds really nice by itself, but in context it's also a little tricky to pull off. And then just a clean D major, as you learn it within your first or second hour of guitar lessons. The transition chord I like to play a little differently though. Open D, 2nd fret on the G string, 2nd fret on the B string, and open E. Back into our regular D major. For the second half of the chorus, you want to stay on D major, into A major over E, open low E string. Now you want to mute the open A string, ideally with whatever finger you use to play 2nd fret on the D string. I use my middle finger for that. 2-2-2 on the D, G, and B string, and open E. And you really do want to mute the A string here, because like that, it kind of just sounds like a regular A major, which is not what's happening here in this part, harmony-wise. Now, as for transitioning back to A major, starting over the chorus essentially, I think Will once again plays this F sharp minor looking chord into E over G sharp, but I once again play the chords that I've already used in the verse. D sus2 over F sharp, and then this chord, E7 over G sharp, and now back to A major, B minor 7, A C sharp, back to D major, but now we have a different transition chord. This time you don't want to play, you kind of want to do this, right? D sus4 back into D major, so just use your pinky finger on the 3rd fret of the high E string. However, I think it's even nicer to play this chord here. Open D, open G, 5th fret on the B string, and 3rd fret on the high E string, and then back into D major. Now if you play the D major as a bar chord, just move your pinky finger out to the 8th fret of the B string and back to 7th fret on the B string. Alright, we're not done yet with the chorus. One final part, D major, A over C sharp, which I play like this, but which you also can play like this. Into this F sharp minor looking chord, into E major. Now there's also this little appendix to the chorus, right? You got all my love. And in the studio version, the acoustic guitar just drops out there. No chords, nothing. But you can obviously still play chords here, even in standard tuning. Now it gets trickier and trickier. After that specific A major, you want to play this chord. 3rd fret on the low E string. Mute the A string with the same finger. 2 on the D string, 2 on the G string, open B and E. Now we're going to keep walking down, this time to an F sharp in our bass, which I play with my thumb. Mute the A string again, open D, 2nd fret on the G string, open B, E. Now we're basically keeping this chord, but just changing the bass from F sharp to B. Next I play this chord, A sus2 over C sharp, 4th fret on the A string, mute the D string, 2nd fret on the G string, open B, E. Now again, we're keeping the basses, the foundation of this chord, 2 0 0, but now moving on to a D for your bass. And resolve it by playing E major. Tricky part, let's play this entire sequence again. And the chords I'm showing to you, they're basically just what I play because, again, the acoustic guitar drops out there on the recording. Now we have this little piano and strings moment where the rhythm kind of changes. So you constantly want to play the low E string for your bass. And the chords happen on the 3 high strings, so G, B, and E string. 6 on the G string, and then bar 5, B, E. 4 on the G string, 3 on the B string, 4 on the high E string. Now another A major triad, but just in a different inversion. This time 9, 10, and 9 on the G, B, and E string. And our final chord, E7 triad. Once again, just a different inversion. Bar 7. But you also want to have your pinky finger on the 9th fret of the B string. Back into the chorus. Now you want to do 2 rounds of the chorus, and there are absolutely no chord changes in this double chorus compared to the chorus that I've already shown you. One final tiny little thing in this appendix part to the chorus, the "You've got all my love." Coming out of the double chorus, you want to play A major, and then this G6 chord, but this time we're not walking down all the way to F sharp, B, C sharp, D. We're just leaving it there. And then it's just a repetition of the All My Love part. You've got all my love. Now I'm gonna play the entire acoustic guitar part again, starting after the first chorus, so where the original acoustic guitar comes in the studio version. Note though that I play my variations of the chords here and there. Once again, if you want to have Will's chord, go back to the parts that I've just done. Honestly, decide for yourself which you prefer. I'm obviously absolutely not saying that one or the other are better. There are so many ways that you can play a song, but for me personally, it's always good to, you know, put your own little stamp on it. Alright, that's all I have to say about All My Love. I've done 2 videos on this now. So yeah, feel free to ask away in the comment section about All My Love. Also, if you have any requests, please put them in the comments. And yeah, obviously a lot of more Moon music videos coming your way. The next Coldplay video is actually going to be a little different actually, and I'm really excited to put that one out. So look forward to that. Thank you so much for all your support. I really, really appreciate it. Take care, stay safe out there, and Joe Zealand out.